Are we all gonna do it at the same time?
Yeah, let's do it at the same time.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, that was pretty good.
That was not bad.
That wasn't bad.
Not
Yeah.
bad. Not a bad clap.
That wasn't that bad.
I love the clap.
Me too.
Are we starting? Is this it?
Not yet.
Hit that button, bro.
Jeremy and Ramona, welcome to our podcast. Come on in and we'll have a blast. That was your first time experiencing that?
You guys did this on that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, we recorded it on this.
We tried playing around with something like that
Yeah.
on ours. This one's way better.
Ooh.
This is way better.
I'll take it.
This is way better.
Yeah. We wanted to reset like the settings, but we're so worried about losing that intro.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you just have to hook it up to your computer and then just upload it on there.
Yeah. Maybe
You'll
we
be
could
fine.
save it. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys will be fine.
I don't know what any of that means, but
It's
Yeah.
a technical. It's
This guy's a programmer. This guy.
great.
you don't.
Great.
It's boring, but it's my life.
So today we have Nick with us. Should we talk about how we all know each other?
Well, me and Jeremy used to work with each other. We
No
were
way.
coworkers. Yeah.
Co-workers, where?
At
LA
a-
Fitness?
No,
I wish.
at Pasadena Strength and Conditioning. We were
Oh,
just two
right.
coaches there.
I
Yeah.
used to go there.
You did used to go there. I used to see you there.
Yeah,
That's where I know you from.
That's right.
Yeah. And I met this dude. We started just, training with each other and hanging out, and, we're buds.
Was it love at first sight, or
Yeah.
did you guys
It really
take
was.
some time
Everybody
to-
was really cool, but Jeremy was the coolest.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
He was really cool.
All right, keep going.
Just really nice on the eyes. Just everyone just likes having a nice piece of meat to look at.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Jeremy's origami serves as that purpose, and that is his only purpose. It's a fucking
That's really
nice piece of ass.
The main thing that we like
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah, that's it. Everything
Thing.
else, nothing. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
just as far as-
Personality, not so much.
yeah, it's all right. It's
His personality.
he's a
is
pretty
solid
nice guy.
four.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just piece of ass.
just purely a piece of ass.
Purely sexual.
Purely
Our
sexual.
relationship was purely sexual for a long time.
All right, I like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys when you guys lift? Do you guys make eye contact?
Yeah.
We should. We
would-
probably should.
We would sit on this bench and we'd just face each other and we would just do shoulder presses and just look each other
In sequence, like in sequence,
Eye.
and just with tempo.
and they would just like
yeah.
and grunt.
I
Dude,
love that.
Isn't that kind of erotic?
Yeah.
I love a good bromance. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And it's Jeremy's one of those guys that has, he's very likable. He's a very nice guy. Who
Yeah.
doesn't like this guy?
I
don't know that
agree.
many people that don't like Jeremy.
Wow.
agree.
Wow.
You
I like
if
where
you
this
don't
is heading.
like Jeremy, there's something not right with you.
Yeah, there's something
is
wrong
what
with
I
you.
say.
That's what Tiffany says all the time. Tiffany's my wife. She says that.
Yeah.
She loves Jeremy. She's like, sometimes out of nowhere we'll be having dinner. She goes, Jeremy's like one of the nicest guys ever. And I'll be like, okay, we were talking about something else, but yeah. She goes genuinely and he really means it. Like it's some people are like kind of fake about it, but Jeremy very it's natural. That's what she
Oh,
says.
dude,
Yeah.
Tiff's the best. See, this
Yeah,
is why
dude.
Tiff is the real MVP. I love her.
Yeah, she's a real scumbag though. To me, but to Jeremy, she's a sweetheart.
Oh, okay. Love that.
That's what I like about
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
You've never met her before, huh? My wife?
I've never met her, but I would like to because
You'll
then
probably meet her
we
soon.
can we can do spells together.
Yeah, yeah.
We can do witch stuff.
So we're at Ramona's house. I come in, and the first thing I see is a Ouija board.
It's true.
It's out, bro.
Just
That's
Yeah, I'm all into that.
So what do you do with it? I'm just curious because
witch.
You summon spirits. You light some candles. You ask some questions. You roll your eyes back, and you just summon some fucking spirits.
I don't know if you're like playing around or you're being serious.
I'm so serious.
Okay, is she being serious?
This is the end of the podcast. All right, cool. We got 4 minutes in.
Another 4-minute episode.
Yeah.
My whole thing is like, what's your craziest story and experience with the Ouija board?
That it actually works.
No, I know it does. Like I've heard stories. So like,
Yeah.
what's once if you don't mind talking about it, but like, what is one of the craziest stories where you've messed around with it and then had something happen immediately?
Oh, I mean, it's not crazy because I expect it to work, and
Yeah.
it does, and it's always.
Well, for the non-believers out there,
It's always been a positive experience. Yeah. I don't know. I've asked questions. Apparently, I'm gonna have 5 kids. I wasn't expecting that answer.
Yo.
But that's what the spirits say.
Do you do it by yourself?
No, sometimes I do it by myself.
Is that scarier than doing it with other people?
No, doing it with other people is scarier.
Really? Why?
Because you trip out. You're like, are you moving it? No, are you
Yeah.
moving it?
So that's my question, right? Like when you do it by yourself, you're not moving it.
You're not moving it.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, that
Is there-
itself
Yeah,
it's a sketch.
it's a sketch. Is there like an optimal time where you should be doing it and when you shouldn't be doing it?
I like.
What are the rules, bro? Like
Does it have
break
to be
it down
dark?
for me.
Does it have to be nighttime?
Yeah, does that?
I
If we did
like
it
to
right
do
now,
it
what do
at
We ain't
night.
doing it
won't.
right now.
We're not doing
but
it. I would never do it.
I'm leaving
would-
if you pull that thing out.
Do it
Me
at
too.
nighttime. Do it when you're real sleepy. Do it at like
Sleepy.
3 in the morning.
Oh,
Bro.
gosh.
Light a candle.
Just the most evil point of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. That's when all the crazy shit happens.
Light a
3:33.
candle. That's when it happens.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
When I have to, when I wake up at 3 a.m. and I have to go pee, I second guess that.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
sketch.
I'm not gonna do it.
It's sketch.
The bathroom's not that far from my bedroom.
Yeah.
Your boy thinks twice.
But, like-
so the last thing I'm gonna do at 3 a.m. is pull out a Ouija board.
I mean, but it's good for me because I'm a witch.
Yeah.
Obviously, I
Yeah,
have a black
duh.
cat.
a
Yeah.
witch.
Oh, you do have a black cat.
Yeah.
That's tight,
Wow. Wow.
man.
Ah, fuck.
So what else have you learned? Yeah. What else? Shit.
Oh, God.
There's a broom. Fuck.
Oh, no.
There's Harry Potter stuff everywhere. Jesus Christ.
Oh, no.
The whole series is on
Harry
HBO
Potter
Max.
stuff.
There is Harry Potter stuff everywhere.
Harry
It's
Potter
true.
is on HBO Max right now, so that's pretty
it?
cool.
That's
I want to rewatch it. I don't remember anything from the movies.
don't
I
either.
stopped watching Harry Potter because it got really emo.
And you were like, "This shit ain't real witchcraft, bro."
Yeah,
like,
this ain't real.
she's like, "This ain't real life,
Like,
dog.
this is just Hot Topic. This ain't witchcraft.
This ain't real witchcraft,
Just
dude."
emo as
She's like,
Yeah.
"I'm in the trenches. I'm doing the real witch work.
Yeah.
like, I'm busting out the Ouija board. You guys got some weak ass spells.
I'm waking up at 3 a.m. to pull off these spells. Yeah, like y'all ain't doing the real work."
Oh my god.
So you finding out that you're gonna have 5 kids. That's
Yeah.
one thing. What else has like completely shocked you? Where you're like, "Oh shit, this is crazy."
One time I asked if I was going to be in a relationship with this particular person
Yeah.
that I was not in a relationship with at the time.
Yeah.
And the Ouija board said yes. And then, like a month later, we were in a relationship.
How did you guys start dating?
Hanging out.
Yeah.
how did so okay. Did the Wheezy
Wheezy.
Did
The
the little
Wheezy
board?
Wheezy did the little Wheezy F baby
Little baby board.
does it like so your hand moves to like YES or just Y or how does that work?
There's a yes and
Oh,
no.
okay.
Oh shit.
And there's letters and numbers. So it
I'm
could
stressed.
be anything.
I'm sweating through.
I'm seriously sweating.
Really?
I'm sweating,
Why?
bro.
Turn the AC
why?
on?
Okay.
It makes me
why does
nervous.
it? Why
I
does
think
it?
demons are afraid of AC.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
That's why I
Why
keep my
do you
place
guys
cool.
freak out so much about it? That's-
Because you ever seen the movie Ouija?
no.
You ever seen the movie?
No.
No.
I saw that at my barber shop one time. I was getting my hair cut.
And you kept flinching and he was like
Yeah,
messing your hair up.
my hair was all crooked after.
Lining you up and he's like
I was like, "Oh, did you see that? Oh, jeez." No, but the thing about that movie is that it's based off true events, y'all.
oh shit.
Yeah.
And those motherfuckers died,
I don't like that.
and that's all I remember because it was silent. But
How
I was
does the
watching.
Ouija board kill someone though?
You gotta watch the movie.
like just
no
a
spoilers,
board,
all right?
How does it kill you?
It's like Final Destination style, bro.
oh,
There was
it
like
predicts your death.
not even that. It was like ghosts that would come out the Ouija board and like murder people, and that's how it goes. The spirits.
I am one with ghosts.
I just feel
That's tight.
like
Have you ever seen ghosts?
yes.
Where have you seen ghosts?
gosh dang.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah,
my
I want to hear
ghost
ghosts.
story?
I get so scared. I'm pussy with. Can I cuss on here? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, I'm pussy with. I already
like,
cussed like
nah,
7 times
nah.
already. I'm a little wuss with like ghost stories and shit like that, but I love hearing them.
Okay, I'll tell you a good ghost story.
Oh my gosh.
My skin gonna crawl.
This really happened,
All right,
by
what's
the
up?
way.
What happened? No, I believe it. I believe it. Oh shit, she's clearing her voice.
Oh god. I need some LaCroix.
Sponsor us, LaCroix.
She's already sponsored, bro.
Sponsor us. She's
a
already sponsored, but
sponsored athlete.
sponsor us.
I am not, but I love LaCroix.
LaCroix
Yeah.
sponsored
Okay.
athlete.
Pamplemousse all day, bro.
So I was
What'd you say?
at a
Pamplemousse.
family dinner once with a boyfriend of mine. I was having dinner with his family downstairs in a house.
Where was this located? What part of town?
It's interesting that you ask that.
No, bro, please don't do
Is it
that
not
with your
okay?
eyes.
Because
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah,
I'm glad you did.
I'm so easily scared. So please,
Yeah.
like, I'm already tripping.
my boyfriend at the time lived in a place called Hanging Rock Court
Where's that?
in Montebello. And
Motherfuckers died over there.
It's called Hanging Rock
Rock.
because they used to hang people in that area
Yeah.
where they thought they were witches.
Oh shit.
A witch.
Which, by the way, the whole witchcraft shit was like, it was like the worst investigations ever.
Oh yeah, the
Very terrible.
It was awful. Like
Yeah.
they did
The
no due process.
Salem witch trials. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Monty Python where she's like, how are we going to determine she's a witch? She's like, witches float. And we're like, we'll just throw her in the water. And then if she floats, she's a witch.
Kill her.
Yeah.
And if she drowns, she did not
She's
swim. Oh, I
dead.
guess.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
shit, I
like,
guess.
Oh, I guess
my
she wasn't
gosh.
a witch.
Yeah.
So I was having dinner and my phone dies. And I'm like, babe,
Apple,
can I charge my phone?
Apple. Shout out Apple.
Shout out Apple. Sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
We're just looking for
New
sponsors right now.
phones.
We're just looking for sponsors.
we're really looking for
So
sponsors.
thirsty
right
for
now.
sponsors.
And so I go upstairs and he has like this long hallway and 3 bedrooms. And he's in one of the bedrooms. None of the bedroom lights are on, but the hallway light is on.
Of course.
So
Hallway lights, bro.
Hallways.
Get rid of them.
hallways.
Yeah, no hallways.
No hallway
hallways.
lights. Just trip, fall, don't care. No hallway lights.
Because it's
Just
ghosts. That's where ghosts appear, yo.
Dude,
They love hallways.
My house
Ghosts
is just
love
going to be
hallways.
one open plan, like no hallways.
Yeah, it's just
at
a
all.
studio.
No,
Just a
no
giant studio.
bedrooms.
Yeah.
Just a really
Just a
big
ass
box.
Yeah,
room.
no dividers.
Yeah.
yeah.
None of that. That's where ghosts hang out.
All
Yeah.
the walls are see-through.
Yes.
Yeah, ghosts.
No privacy.
No.
Ghosts fuck with walls.
They
We can't have no
love
walls.
walls.
in the
They
house.
hang
No
out in the walls.
They hang out on the wall.
Yeah.
So no walls.
So as I'm walking down this hallway and I go into the room of my boyfriends at the time, I plug my phone in and I hear, and I look around, I turn back to the hallway and I see a girl in a long
bruh.
blue dress. Not even kidding.
This is when I have to put my feet up. When I get scared, I gotta put my feet up.
A long blue dress. She had long brown hair that covered her face. You couldn't see her face because she had so much hair, and I just saw her like run across the hall into the other room.
Look at the goosebumps, bro.
I just kind
Look, the hair stood up. The hair stood up. Look at that. You see that?
I see that. Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, I'm a little wuss, dude.
So I'm like, oh no. Like I start to justify it logically. I'm like, is that his sister?
Yeah.
And then I hear his sister laughing downstairs, like, ha ha ha, da 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 da. Da. I'm like, okay, so it's no one
I'm sweating.
downstairs.
Oh,
Look
more-
at the hairs.
more goosebumps.
Look at the hairs, dude.
Jeez.
So I walk down the hall and I look into the room that she like ran into. I don't see anything. Later on that night, when dinner's over and I'm about to head home, I'm like, babe, you will have no idea what I just saw. The craziest thing. You're not even gonna believe me. I saw,
He
and
knew
then
her, bro.
before I finish my sentence,
He hung her, bro. He's the witch. She's the witch.
Yeah.
That he was like, oh yeah, I guess she
he
wasn't
was
a witch.
like, yeah, I remember that. No, but he was like, you saw the girl, didn't you?
Oh my.
bro,
Dude, end of relationship.
Yeah, dude, we're over.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're done.
That's it. We're broken
out.
up
And
now.
I'm like, what? Are you fucking,
No
you know what I'm talking
way.
about? You've seen her? And he's like, yeah. She comes into my room and plays with my guinea pigs. And
Plays with her his guinea pigs.
and she like giggles in my room all the
No.
time. And
That, bro.
yeah. So that's my ghost story.
Wait, but fuck. Is he? Did he describe her? Did he say she wears a blue dress or anything or nah? But he.
I didn't ask, but I assume that he saw the
How is he
same
just
girl.
okay with that?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, she just comes in sometimes and
Some people are just okay with
plays
it.
with my guinea pigs.
I think after a while, well, I guess some people like my mother-in-law. She's sometimes she sees ghosts and shit, and she's like, yeah, it's fine. Like her attitude about it is like, oh, they're just they're just hanging out, like nothing to be scared of, as long as they're not like fucking with you or
Yeah.
anything like that. And then in my head, I'm like, you have more balls than me. because I would have moved my house. I would have left.
Right.
I would have
Yeah.
been gone. But for some people, they're cool with it. They just accept it. They see it for what it is.
I have a theory about ghosts.
Yeah.
So you know how time is not exactly linear.
Yeah.
Time is like a fabric that folds and stretches, and time is
deep.
relative.
Yeah.
It's deep.
What
Shout out to
if-
Avengers and shit. Like,
Yeah.
they're the
Shout
ones
out
that
to
like,
Avengers.
Inception.
Yeah.
Sponsor us, Marvel.
Avengers sponsor us.
And like Ant-Man.
What if a ghost is just like some weird overlap crinkle of time where you're like seeing someone from like a different time zone?
Yeah, well, I think that's true though, because they're able to quantify like energy, like that happens to be spirits and stuff like that. They're able to understand energy that we don't really
Wait,
see.
ghosts?
Yeah, like
Right,
they
right.
they do actual like I don't know what the field of it is called, but they do like actual scientific studies where they're actually able to see and quantify certain like metrics of energy that just happens to be in the form of like an apparition or some shit. Which is actually kind of like I obviously don't know enough to explain it or talk about it, but I would imagine that this shit is real.
I've
you
got
know?
an interesting question to ask you guys since we're on the topic of afterlife. What do you think happens when we die, after we
I
die?
don't know, bro.
Because I have my own theory, and I'm sure we all do.
Yeah.
And no one really knows what's right or not. But what's your theory?
I think you end up on the TV show Lost, and then you're on purgatory and you're on an island, bro. And then
And then it's like
Like you're
tick-tock, and then they have to
physically
press
on
in the
an
numbers.
I don't know.
You have to go down in the vault,
Yeah.
and then they press the numbers into the computer so it resets. Every
Is
day.
that how the show Lost is?
That's part of it, yeah.
Shit.
And then there's like this black ghost thing that goes around and kills people.
Oh yeah, the smoke monster or
Smoke
some
monster.
shit. Yeah,
That's when it started to get weird.
And everyone was like, "I'm out."
I loved that show.
Did
though.
you?
The first,
Everyone
like,
loves it.
3 seasons or 4. I liked all of them honestly, but it started to get a little weird after a while. But that first 2-3 seasons was fire. Fire. I made a Facebook group. This is like when I first got on Facebook.
Fuck
and
yeah.
I Love Lost Facebook group. And all the homies joined it. And we were just like, dude, we talked about the episode in there.
I'm sure it's a good show to geek out over.
Yeah.
You know, I've never seen it. My sisters watched
Me
it
neither, yeah.
and they really liked it. But going back to your question, because we just got off topic
we
like
did.
crazy, and we probably would have went on a Lost tangent.
Yeah, I love Lost.
But you know, I kind of don't know. I've never really kind of thought about it that way. As far as like actually sitting down and really thinking like, oh man, what's gonna happen? Like what my actual belief is about it.
Yeah.
I kind of don't really have one, really. I kind of like I always think like, oh yeah, that could probably be true, or I'm more of like, oh yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. Whether it's like reincarnation
Do
or
you
fucking,
believe in reincarnation?
I don't know. I really don't know.
All right. But you're open to it.
I'm
You're
open to all of
yeah,
it.
I'm open
Yeah.
to all the theories.
Because what are you gonna tell me? No one knows.
No one knows.
No one knows. And for you to shit on another thing, it's like who the fuck are you, bro?
Yeah.
yeah, I feel
Are
like
you all
there's
cosmos? You know
like,
everything. You Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Outta here,
different interpretations, you know, and it's like obviously different religions interpret it, but even within even within Christianity, there's a ton of different people who think that they know what's going to happen. So
Are
like,
the theories different though?
yeah, because I
within
mean,
the
like some
community?
people think we're going to go away from Earth and we go into this other realm, and then you're going to be with God, and like, you know, there's going to be it's going to be like this euphoric like state that you'll always be in because you're in direct connection with God, and you have everyone like that you've ever met around you, and or everyone that's ever been a person, every soul basically. And it's only gonna be good. Like there's like bad will not exist. Like the emotion, like sadness, pain, none of that stuff will exist. So you'll be in complete bliss and like you in a euphoric state constantly because you're directly connected with God. But there's another interpretation that like, because they say there's gonna be a new heaven and new earth, so that people think that the earth will pretty much just restore to like its prime state. And like everyone will restore to their prime state.
Which is what?
Like just whatever the most prime state that you are in your life, like you'll restore to that. Like,
Okay.
you know, like if you were really old, you would come back to like the prime of your life, and everyone will just, then the earth will basically renew and won't have like any problems anymore, and it'll just be brand new, like how it's supposed to be, like Garden of Eden type stuff. And we'll all just like be like basically living, like they're living together on earth, and again with none of the bad stuff, only good.
That sounds pretty tight.
You know?
Yeah, that's nice.
That sounds very nice.
Yeah. With like way more like unlimited possibilities. Like you could fly and shit, and like,
Yeah, that'd be tight.
you know,
Buffets all
and
the
you'll
time.
know everything. You'll be directly connected with God, so you'll know everything He knows.
Yeah.
So you'll almost get to like answer any question you've ever had. You could have it answered. Like, are aliens real? And like, why did?
You just know everything.
Yeah.
I kind of abstractly have a similar. Okay, here's a random shower thought. Have you guys realized that you could never see like all sides of anything?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what this mic looks like. There's a whole side of this mic that I will never understand, and if I turn it around, I can't see the other side, and it could be anything.
Dang.
Theoretically.
bro.
That's deep.
That's deep,
like,
guys. That's deep.
I didn't do too well in philosophy class.
But have you ever thought
Yeah.
about that?
I think about that all the time. I think about that shit all the time. As it pertains to everything, right? Like whether we talk about politics, whether we talk about, you know, fitness, or
You're saying like, is it there if I can't see it?
not even that. It's just like there's always going to be part of the unknown to certain things that we think we might know, or that we kind of trick ourselves into thinking that we know.
Yeah.
But whether we like it or not, there's always going to be an aspect of a missing perspective. And as hard as we try to cover all sides of that perspective, there's always going to be a blind spot.
We'll never know. There's always a blind spot.
But I think on top of that too, I don't think a lot of people are actually thinking in terms of that, where they're open with like the concept of them being wrong about stuff, or the
Yeah.
concept of them not understanding certain things. Because if you think about why people disagree all the time about the most menial things of all time, right? Like the things that people argue about on a regular basis, whether in a conversation or over the internet or anything, I think it always comes from a place of not understanding the other side of what their argument is versus their own argument. Because a lot of the times too, it's like people get so wrapped up in, what's the word I'm looking for? They get so wrapped up in what they believe and pushing what they believe onto other people that they don't really think about like, there's a shot here that I could be absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
Or my perspective isn't as clear as it could be.
yeah.
You know, so, and I think about that actually a lot, where I'm like, man, I wonder if the narrative of things that I believe is like, where does that come from? And is that valid to a certain degree? Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like if people aren't thinking outside of themselves or outside of what they actually believe, and not allowing the opportunity of something that they don't understand to be present, then I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice. But the fact that you're able to look at that microphone and be like, man, from at this angle, there's a whole different side that I don't understand, that I've never seen. I think that's a step in the right direction, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the only thing you can really do. And then just want to figure out like, what else is there, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people just don't really think in those terms, because some people don't have the luxury to.
And it's scary to say you don't know,
Yeah.
because you could be wrong about everything you
Yeah.
believed in.
That's why
What?
if people speak in absolutes, you can't really trust their opinions on things. You know?
Yeah.
It's like very, very rarely are things black and white,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? Across the board.
Yes, I agree.
And people like to think in just absolutist terms.
Yes.
Like especially in fitness, right?
Oh, totally.
It's like, oh, should I do HIIT training or should I just do 30-minute runs? And it's like, they're not mutually exclusive. You
Yeah.
could do both.
Which
Right.
one's better?
You know
Which
what I
one's the bet? Which one's the thing?
And it's like, okay, you're thinking about this completely wrong. Like,
Yeah.
like for instance, like when we talk about fitness and how, when I get certain clients and they ask very Like the questions that people ask about fitness are always in absolute terms.
Yeah.
Like
you
what? Give me
always
an
have to do.
example.
What's the
always
best
should
diet?
do-
Low carb or keto? Like it's like,
You should always do cardio after you lift, right? Because you'll burn more fat.
yeah, it's like
you're like, I mean, you
not
could do
really.
it before. It doesn't really matter. But
yeah, and it's because we understand it to a certain degree. We're able to look at it from every side of the perspective of what this person, this client, is coming at you with, where you understand what the view is from when they're looking at fitness as a whole, but they're only looking at it one side.
Yeah.
But as soon as you pull it back a little bit, pull back the lens, then, and that's the key, is like, how do I make this person understand to just think of fitness or exercise or whatever as a whole, rather than just specific things I have to do all the time, if that makes sense.
Really love that. I love, because it has to do with, I don't know, I feel like it ties into like how you live your life. Like fitness can equate to living your life. Like you can't just live your life black and white. It's whatever works for you.
Exactly.
And that could be different levels of a little bit of everything.
And what, that's the key, right? Once people start to understand what works for them and how to maximize that for that individual person, they won't get caught up in all the extra bullshit that people kind of fall into naturally.
yeah.
Like, especially when it comes to like most of my clients I work with are like weight loss clients and people that are trying to just learn how to add fitness into their lifestyle and how to just make it more applicable, right? More just, because a lot of times when people start doing fitness or start trying to look after their health, they feel like they have to do it all.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to make sure I hit the gym 7 days a week and I have to do this, and they put so much on their plate where they're setting themselves up for failure every single time because they think in their mind that's what they have to do. But in reality, it really gets closer of, it's more of, where's this person at and how can we optimize what they're already doing? And then as we go on, we could take small steps to get them to where they need to be at. But in reality, everyone's looking at the end result and where they need to be at because they think this is what is successful. But in reality, it doesn't have to be on those metrics. People are they're basing their whole lifestyle off of somebody else's metrics when they should just be looking at their own, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's very specific to the individual.
Yeah. A lot of clients, I'm like, okay, we just need to start you on getting used to exercise.
Exactly.
They're like, I want to exercise 7 days a week. I want to have the perfect meal plan.
Yeah.
I want to know how much water I should drink.
Yeah.
Just this, that. I'm like, dude, you just need to move your body.
Yeah,
And
you-
get used to
you
moving.
just need to
And
start,
Yeah.
bro.
Like you're not going to be able to even handle one of these aspects.
Yeah.
You want to handle 10 things at the same time. You're not an elite athlete.
Yeah.
We need to like slowly get you integrated.
It's so funny that you say it because I just did a consultation with a new client, and he goes, "Hey man, like, you know, I want to start doing kickboxing. I want to start doing jiu-jitsu." He's like, "I haven't been working out consistently. I haven't really been doing much. My diet's shit, whatever, yada yada yada." And then he goes, "You know, the program that you're going to give me for strength conditioning and stuff, is it like, do you know what type of program it's going to be? Like, because I really want to make sure I focus on like it being specific for Muay Thai and kickboxing." And it's like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from because you think that everything you have to do has to be specific to this sport that you are going to start, right?
yeah. Not even that you're like
Exactly.
already an expert.
Yeah,
at.
exactly. And it's like a lot of times most people just need more general things. And then as you get better at the general concepts and the general program of exercise and fitness, then you could be a little more specific as time goes on.
Right.
But everybody thinks that they have to be at the finish line already.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an interesting question to ask the both of you, since you guys both train people, you guys are into fitness, but at the same time, you guys don't like, you guys both do your own thing.
Yeah.
Do you think there is a common key ingredient for better health?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
definitely like the
Well,
pillars that are
Yeah, like
important.
I think in general, people just, most of the time, this is very general for the person that doesn't work out or whatever, they just need to increase their daily activity and then just be a little more accountable to the things that they eat. And then just to
Yeah.
understand nutrition as a whole. Like, I think the biggest pitfall for people when they're starting a diet plan, they just don't know how to eat for themselves. They don't know what they like. They're unconscious of what they consume. And then all of a sudden they're like, I don't know what it is. I just think it's my hormones that's like getting me overweight. And I'm just like, I don't know what happened to me. And it's because they don't understand certain principles that they're at where they're at. And then that's why like diets, like fad diets are so popular, because they give you the structure without you understanding the thought process behind why it works and how it works.
Yeah.
And then it kind of becomes a one size fits all. Like, for instance, keto, right? Everybody loves fucking talking about keto. Oh, you think I should do keto? You think I should do keto? But inherently, if I were to write out...
Nick loves keto.
Fuck. But it's like, you know how many clients I've gotten
Big
that
keto
have
fan.
done keto, and then now they're way heavier than when they started doing keto.
Dang.
You know? So it's like a whole thing. It's like, yes, objectively speaking, keto is not necessarily a bad diet for certain people, but it's really like you have to just ask the right questions about it. Like, who is this for? Are you going to continue eating like this after you get to the weight that you're at?
Yeah.
There's a lot of other questions that you have to ask when it comes to, you know, doing a diet. But anyways, going back to the fad diet, it's like people think that, you know, because Joe Rogan talks about it, that like, and he's like, he swears by it, that it's like, oh, it worked for him, it's going to work for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And in reality, it's like, yeah, it might, but also you don't understand the main principles of nutrition in general, and that's not your fault.
Right.
But it's something that will help you in general, like immensely, more than you just doing some cookie cutter diet plan that you think might be a good fit for you. You know, and doing it for 3 months or so, yeah, it might be a good idea, but what happens after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what?
The long term, right? People just don't really think about the long term too often, unfortunately.
Yeah. People are very black and white. They want to know the best diet. And you're like, everyone's different.
Yeah.
Depends. You're going to have to know exactly why you're doing this, the reason, like, you know, they just have heard like, oh, it's good, so they just want to do it.
Is it bad to run before my workouts? Like things like that. And it's like,
You're
kind of a weird question to ask.
Yeah, like,
unfortunately, yeah.
why do you think that at all?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
why,
exactly.
You know, like, why are you
Why
even
is
asking
running
that?
even bad,
Like,
potentially?
You know,
Yeah.
it's just interesting what people hear and then translate and come up with and then say,
Yeah.
like, ask you, you know, you're just like, yeah, I don't, you're like baffled that they would even ask that.
Yeah, and it's also just because of where we're coming from, right? We're coming from a different lens. We're coming from a different point of view. And sometimes I have to tell myself, like, oh, I have to remember that these people, the people that I work with, they don't know enough about this stuff yet. And that's my goal when I work with certain clients is like, how do we provide more education? How do we provide more insight to what they think fitness and health and nutrition and all that shit is? And then how do we kind of point them in the right direction?
Yeah.
They don't have to believe everything I believe,
Right.
but how do we understand the basic principles? And then from there, once they understand that, they could base their opinion on whatever hot topics there is in about fitness and training and across the board.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't ever judge someone for
I do
asking that.
all the time.
You
I'm
do?
like, what are you
Okay.
fucking an idiot, dude?
Did you get in their face?
I'm like, oh, you fucking piece of shit. They're
Just like,
yeah. My coaching system is not doing
it's
so
really
hot.
good. It's good.
That's what
The
they
retention-
pay you the big bucks for.
Yeah.
The retention rate is, oh boy.
Yeah, it's not that good.
You saw it on Biggest Loser. You're like, I thought that was the whole point. You're a piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here. Bear crawls up the hill. Keep going. You want to die? They're just like, oh,
Yeah. Another reason of, why people think it's short term. They see Biggest Loser and like, oh, I got to do that type of shit.
yeah.
But then what happens when you go back to work? What happens when you don't got 2 months of filming a TV show where everything is
No
prepped for you and done for you?
distractions,
Yeah.
yeah.
What happens then?
Trainers, chefs.
Yeah.
You have nothing else to do besides just think,
Jillian Michaels not in your living room, bro.
Michaels giving you the worst advice.
Yeah, I kind of want to steer this towards mental health, actually, because
Yeah.
I feel like physical fitness and mental health ties in together really strongly. And I personally have gone to therapy and felt like, oh, I'm all better now. I don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I find myself in the slump again. So it's like an ongoing process.
Yeah.
How do you guys think physical health ties in with therapy? And what do you guys do that's similar to therapy?
I think a lot of our clients, so when they first come to us, like it's more than a lot of it starts with the mental. Like the reason why they are at where they're at is because there is some kind of, there's something that they're using, food or lack of sleep, or there's something mentally that's making their physical health suffer.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I think part of our job is kind of to be that therapist and have them work through some stuff. But also I feel like they need to go seek professional help too.
Yeah.
And that would really complement like the training is for them to go and start to like process through things. Cause people like, they hold on to traumas and then they soothe themselves with something like food or like leisurely things that like, oh, I'm going to just chill all day and watch TV. And because it helps me not think about this pain that I'm holding on to, where it's like, if they could release that pain and they could start to soothe themselves in healthy ways and then start to learn habits through working out and like eating better and stuff. I think that's a very holistic approach. And we can do we can do our best to be like that therapist if they aren't going to actual therapy. But obviously we're not like professional therapists.
I'm a professional therapist. Yeah.
I've taken a few, I like almost minored in psychology, but that doesn't make me a therapist, like
I
watch Dr. Phil, so like I'm pretty much a therapist.
like Maury, like you are the father.
Yeah, and they just run. That's your cardio.
I told you. Yeah,
That's your cardio.
I really agree with that because I feel like having good health comes from like a more like an entire thing other than just running 5 miles a day. Like it's a whole lifestyle, mental health kind of a thing. What do you think, Nick? How does your work make you be in a therapeutic position, and how do you think healthy lifestyles connect with mental health?
Well, I think the good thing about therapy, right?
Yeah.
Like the great thing about therapy is that you're talking to somebody who should be a good therapist, hopefully.
And why
whatever
don't
that
you
means.
see a therapist, Nick?
Oh, I want to.
Okay.
I just got health insurance, so like your boy is on the game. You know what I
Hey,
mean? Let's go.
We on the up and
But
up.
I was looking. I am actively like I was because my wife she's in therapy, and I saw how much that benefited her, and I've always wanted to do it. I just never like kind of took the time to do it and just actively look for a therapist.
I see an energist.
A what?
An energist.
What does that mean?
For real?
So the person that I see who's a therapist is also a psychic.
Oh shit!
And she will predict things that will happen or is happening in my life.
Really?
Through therapy.
That's crazy.
That's
like, what did she
intense.
say? What should be telling you?
Like, oh, I sense something happening around the number 7. What happened to you then? And
Like,
then
I
you'll
punched
be
Jeremy in the face 7
you'll be
times.
like, oh
Yeah.
shit, I punched Jeremy 7, and it really made me feel guilty. And then we'll talk about it, like stuff like that.
Oh, that's crazy.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're working through that because my fucking arm.
I really did punch Jeremy so many times.
For my 30th birthday, we were hanging out and she was like, I need to punch you in the arm 30 times. And I was like,
You monster, dude.
and I was
You're a
like, and
monster.
for whatever reason, I was like, yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, let's go.
Oh, come on. And I instantly regretted it. After the first punch, I was like, oops.
You're like Ramona kind of hits
I was
fucking
like,
hard.
her knuckles feel like little fucking.
Look at them, bro.
Look at my little sharp
Look
ass
how-
my
knuckles.
God.
Look how
dog.
sharp they are, dude.
They're ready to puncture
She looks
skin,
like
bro.
she's like baby Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just
Ready.
little daggers.
Those knucks
Little-
are out there, bro.
or like a Black Panther. Just like put on your knuckles.
Thank you.
That's kind of fucked up that you did that, bro. Like I kind of look at you differently.
I
My arm was so red.
No
So
regrets.
red.
no regrets.
And she was putting, it wasn't like, haha, it was like fucking,
Yeah, it
She was
like
gassed.
a
She was breathing
drop,
heavy
like
afterwards.
winding it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
out
She
of
was like,
breath
"Oh man, I
after.
got to work out, bro."
Yeah.
it was brutal. I don't bruise easy and I think I was bruised.
Very swollen and bruised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did some. 30 is a lot of anything. Anything.
In that same
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Like just
you gotta
right.
do it in the same spot.
Yeah,
And that's not, even if you just push on that
Nah,
spot, it's
I'm out.
sensitive, you know?
I'm out.
And you just
Talk about velocity and some force to that. Ooh, that's
Yeah. It's good.
I think I'm
So-
surprised you didn't break skin.
yeah.
Me
It looked like it was gonna bleed. It did.
Bursted some vessels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. So
Mission accomplished, dude.
I
Yeah.
hope that your therapist said the number 30 and you were like, It's 'cause they
That
punched
was
Jeremy in
a
the arm
nice
30 times.
time in my life.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Good times.
Mind
Good
your
times.
business, therapist.
That's a high point.
So back to therapy.
Yeah,
back to
We
therapy.
totally
We went on a
cut you
tangent.
off, Nick.
No. I think the value in therapy is like we talked about, providing a little more perspectives on what you think, because a lot of times everyone's wrapped up in their own head, right? They're wrapped up in their own thoughts. They're wrapped up on what they tell themselves, and they think that's their reality, right? A lot of the times, and that's something that we all work through. I'm trying to work through that shit too. But whenever you can bring an outside perspective or just focus a little more intention on something that you may not pay attention to,
Yes.
that is incredible in value. And then when it comes to fitness, it's like you're just putting a little more focus and attention to something that's lacking in your lifestyle, right? Whether it's exercise, whether it's activity, or whether it's, fill in the blank. So I feel like they go in hand, right? That's why you work with other people, just to help you, bring more focus back to yourself and aspects of your life that you don't really normally focus on.
Yeah.
And because what you track and what you measure gets improved across the board. It's like when you get your phone now, right? It's like they tell you, oh, you're looking on Instagram 8% more than last week. And then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I got to get off this shit.
Yeah.
Oh man. But before, it's all unconscious, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're just doing stuff and you don't realize what you're doing until you put some attention to it.
Yeah.
And usually that is the starting point to whatever change you're trying to create. It may not happen in a day. It takes time. And it's something that it takes skill for you to try to improve on consistently, time and again. But it goes back to the whole point of what you talked about. It's like you're never done with the things that you have to do. It's like it never, not one day, because I used to think this way too, right? Absolutist terms, where I used to think, well, once I make this, or whatever goal you're trying to achieve, you think once I get there, it's all good.
You're going to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And you don't have to try anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's quite the opposite.
It's a process.
You have to do more work. You have to keep putting time and effort into something. And I think a lot of times people kind of get discouraged by that, or they just don't, their expectations aren't managed properly.
I think it's not just about reaching the goal and doing something. It's about being able to change as a person and being able to grow
That
as a
personal
person.
growth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I think is really interesting about your jobs is you guys don't necessarily put yourself in the position of helping others and giving other people advice beyond health, but I feel like oftentimes you have clients that see you that way or trust you that way.
And I call them idiots. When you wouldn't listen to my ass, dude.
I'm sure you're.
I had Lunchables for lunch today, dude. You're gonna take fucking advice from me?
Do you guys have stories that you want to share about clients that have, like, I don't know, anything that you want to share about client stories that you've had personally?
Well, we talked about this earlier. I've seen many people crying in Jeremy's arms at the gym.
I've cried in Jeremy's arms. And he trains me.
It's quite powerful, yo.
He's just
quite
a
powerful.
great person to cry around.
Just this shoulder right here.
Yeah, that's
Just-
what it's for.
All my shirts are all fucked up.
Look at
right here.
that delt,
Yeah.
bruh.
Look at that. It's just a nice little
Little
ridge, I
pocket
guess.
right there.
It's just like,
Little mountaintop right
Yeah.
there, bro.
Is that weird? Does that weird you out that clients have like this openness with you guys when you just think, oh, I'm just here to train you? Or how does it feel?
You know what? I think that, to me, that kind of feels weird sometimes. We're like, not like, bro, like, don't tell me your
Wait.
feelings. It's not in a way of where I'm like, why are you telling me all these feelings, bro? Like, chill.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
not
like,
that.
you're like, get the fuck away from me.
Hey, stop crying on me, bro.
Yeah.
But it's also, part of it is like, if I feel like I could say something that might be valuable to you, that's cool. I hope you take that and you do something with it. Like, that's cool. But I don't really think in terms of. Actually, the better way of saying it is, if I feel like I could help you at any point in time, I'll try to help you.
Do you feel
And
like
that's it.
a pressure? Like,
Nah.
oh, I got to give this person good advice because this person.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, making sure that how I communicate to them what I'm trying to say is taken the right way, right? It's like, because once you say a phrase or you say advice,
They're gonna
you
latch
don't
onto it.
Yeah, you don't know how they're going to take it. It's you could, you know, it's a hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes they might completely misunderstand what you're saying, and that might be because of how you communicated it. It might be how you're communicating, how you're saying certain things, or maybe not being careful with what you're saying to somebody.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
things get lost in translation. Because once you say it, however people
You
take and
can't
accept
see
it.
the whole can. It's
Yeah.
only a side.
Exactly.
You can
And
only see 3 sides of one thing.
yeah, they might only latch onto a certain part of that
Yeah.
sentence. And they're like, oh, you said only do this. And it's like, no, that's not what I said, motherfucker. Like I
Right.
said this. And it's like, oh, maybe I fucked up on how I said it. And then it's also knowing the client, like knowing how they, you know, how they communicate, how they receive advice, how they talk with you. So it's like you're constantly testing the waters. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many different personalities we deal with that we have to be like chameleons, you know?
Yeah.
Like
So cool.
you have to
Yeah.
like change and adapt your style with each one because they're all so different. You can't
Yeah.
just be your like a certain way with every single one. And
Yeah.
some people are, I don't know. It's not in an inauthentic way.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to be this. It's just like this person reacts better when I come at them this way.
Yeah.
So I want to connect with them deeper and be able to give them more value. So I'm gonna meet them where they receive it the best.
Yeah.
Instead of like it's not being fake or anything, and it can be perceived that way sometimes. Like back like when we would work in the gym, you would see people act different with all their clients, or some people like
Some people are just the same, bro. Some people just like to massage all their female clients on the table and drive their
my
hips into their hips
gosh.
and grab ass and
Yep.
you know, and that's
and
your style.
and
That's
Nick,
cool.
and that's Nick's style.
That's my style.
He's
bro.
speaking
Just
from
his style.
Yeah.
from personal
Shout out my boy
Aesthetic.
Scammy.
Yeah, shout
but,
out Scamron.
but at the same time, it's like,
Big shout out.
yeah, like what
These
you're
are-
saying. You do have to change how you like. One of my clients, who's a friend of mine, she is a pain in my ass, and I tell her that every single fucking day. I'm like, were you fucking listening to anything I was saying? Because I communicate something in my mind like
To the team.
like chef's kiss, and then she wasn't listening, and then I have to yell at her. But sometimes people want to be yelled at.
Yeah,
some people-
clients-
Some people like being dominated.
Yeah, and then some people are just like, please, like, just not.
Nick likes being dominated.
I like being
Yeah.
dominated by Jeremy mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it's part two. Part two. coming up. No, but yeah, like what Jeremy said, it's like and part of it is like just sitting back and listening, right? It's
True.
like just shutting the fuck up and then
Yup.
letting somebody just say what they have to say, and then you kind of make your own assessment from what they say, because you could learn a lot by just sitting back and
Just
listening.
listening.
Yeah, and then
I
seeing
love that.
how they
So
think about
true.
things, and especially in the context of fitness and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? It's like how they're jumping to certain conclusions, and then you could be like, "But why do you think that way? Like why did you come to that conclusion?" And in their head, they're like, "Oh, you know, it's because of this," and it's like, and then you realize that they're coming up with whatever conclusion they have is based in not really reality. It's just
Yeah.
something that they think is true, but it doesn't have to be, because it's the absolutist shit all over again.
Right. It's good to like question the shit out of them and understand what their internal story is.
Yeah,
What
how they arrived to that conclusion,
yeah.
right?
Like what? What is something that people will have that's kind of mixed up that they believe is absolute?
Literally everything
Their
when
whole
it comes to
life.
fitness.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like politics, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, you know, fucking Trump all the way or Biden all the way. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
You're like, all right.
Yeah.
But if we were to really look at this objectively, we would kind of see a certain pattern. And that is that none of these people are gods. None of these people are going to save you inherently. Everybody at the end of the day is going to have their pros and their cons. And then as soon as you start holding these people up on pedestals like they're the greatest things on earth, you know, that's when shit gets really hairy.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
Like, because when it comes, like, politics is the best concept of how people think in absolute terms. It's like, I'm a Democrat and I'm a Republican. But in reality, it's like, if you were to pull back the lens a little bit, you'd realize that all of us kind of want the same things, but just in different ways.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, okay, how about we just try to find a middle ground? But unfortunately, that's just not the way everything's set up. Right. It's just, there's a certain reality to the conversation. Like, we could think in theory all we want, but when it comes down to actually making change and making things happen, there you have to address the reality of certain situations. And because of the reality is different than the theory, then how you approach certain problems are going to be different across the board, right? Like especially with fitness, right? And in my mind, it's like, oh, you know, the perfect program is this. But what about the person that would like to do all these things, but they just simply don't have the time? They don't have, you know, they have kids, they have work, and they're trying to balance it all out. Then you have to kind of change the perspective. You have to change the plan of attack a little bit. And it changes considerably just because of the application is so much different than the actual theory of how people think about things, right? So
it's funny, like I really enjoy like asking my clients questions the entire time, and and it's so funny because you could not have basically any input into what they're saying the whole time besides like, oh wow, and you're just listening, and you just keep asking questions, and by like the end of the session they're like, man, like, you're awesome, and I'm like, I didn't say anything. All I did was ask you questions and questions and questions, and like, validate here and there, but like, or whatever, or just be like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and then
you sound like a piece of shit. Actually,
it's
really. Hey, Meg, you sound like a piece of shit that you said that.
Hey, I can't believe you'd say that. You're bitch. to a guy, I would never say it to a girl.
Yeah,
never.
Maybe you should start though. Maybe you should start.
Yeah,
maybe you should start.
But no, it's just, I think just even listening, like just being a soundboard for them to bounce stuff off of. I would think a lot of people don't have that. And that goes back to like therapy and stuff. It's just like having you are a third party or whatever. You're removed from everything from their life. And a lot of people don't have this like unbiased person that they can just bounce shit off of.
Yeah, definitely.
They just need to hear themselves say stuff sometimes.
And also, like, I'm sure we've all experienced this, right? It's like you think something in your head for so long, and then you say it out loud, and then when you say it out loud, you're like, oh, I'm fucking dumb. Yeah, like, you're I'm like stupid.
Oh.
Like,
I've never had that experience.
Lies.
I was like, fuck, maybe I'm
like,
I was like, yeah, me, I was totally joking just now. Yeah,
we should get that Ouija board out.
So
I'll literally do anything else at this point.
We already reached the end of our podcast.
That was it, huh?
Wait, no.
Let's go.
I can't believe it. That
Easy
like
work,
went
bro.
by so fast.
Did it?
We
Wow.
always end our podcast with the three of us. Whoever comes up with a quote or joke or a secret that has to do with this episode, like the themes of this episode. So we just kind of sit around until one of us has a joke or a quote or a secret they want to share.
You ain't shit. That's a good quote. You ain't shit.
Who said that initially?
No, it's just part of the whole theme.
Yeah.
Right?
You ain't. You know
ain't
what?
shit.
That is so true.
It applies in positively and negatively, I think.
Wow.
Right? Because
yeah.
talking about, like, for me, this is my big thing, right? Like, I'm always in my own head all the time. I second guess. I'm I'm super overly critical to the point where I don't get shit done sometimes because I'm just like, that's stupid. This is dumb. This is whack. This is stupid.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes I tell myself I ain't shit because it's like, you're not that important. Nobody gives a fuck.
Like,
for real,
like
right?
humility, like coming from a place of humility.
Exactly. It's like you ain't shit. Just.
That's so interesting that sometimes being critical on yourself
could be helpful.
No, I was going to say could come from a place of ego. Like a place of like being judgmental to yourself could be like.
Because you think what you're doing is so fucking important that it has to be perfect. But at the end of the day, it don't really matter. You ain't shit. Because it's either you improve on it or you just keep doing the same bullshit that you're doing. Right? It's like there's no other way to do it.
I like to say keep a loose butthole.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
That's tight. I like that too.
Just go through life with a loose butthole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just keep it real loose, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
Stuff gonna fall out, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Just let it hang.
I like to keep it.
The benefits outweigh
tight
the, you know.
Workaholics.
Yeah, it's like keep it tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a type.
Just keep it loose.
So
Just keep it real loose, dog.
When I walk into any room, I like to hope that I have the loosest butthole.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is shit.
That's a good one.
No.
That's a lot of pressure, bro, to be like, hey, come up with a quote, you fucking scumbag.
Literally.
Come up with a quote
We
on
can't
the spot.
end until you do it.
Yeah. They say you ain't shit. Say that.
Bitches ain't shit. Tricks and hoes. Bitches ain't shit, but tricks and hoes. Run.
All right, that's it.